We're playing every game on Game Pass, and game 92 is the newly released title, Atomic Heart. Now, there was a little bit of controversy surrounding this title. I won't get into the political side of everything, but on the gaming side, there was the question, would you rather buy this game for 70 bucks or just pay for Game Pass? Now, obviously, I already own Game Pass, so I'm for sure going to play it here, but maybe after my quick overview of my experience, you'll be able to better decide how you want to purchase and play this title. So let's go over what Atomic Heart actually is. It's going to be a first-person shooter story title that's set in an alternate World War II future, kind of like the Wolfenstein games. The main premise of the story is that these robots have all gone rogue, and you're the one that has to stop them all. Now, even though the game seems like it would be incredibly fast-paced, it actually plays a little bit slower, so it's kind of somewhere between a first-person shooter and a horror game. Now, I've got a decent amount to say about this one, so let's go ahead and start off with the good things. Graphically, this game is beautiful. The opening scene really shows you how well of a world this game is building, and how a ton of different design choices all perfectly fit and flow together. Now, the only downside to the start of this game is it is pretty dang long, and it doesn't give you a lot of control to look and see what you want. Next up, let's talk about the character designs. Everything is basically spot on and slightly creepy, and fits perfectly into the world they've built. The only person I really didn't care for was the main character, which was kind of a letdown. Now, when it comes to this game's storytelling, it's kind of a mixed review for me. I thought the set pieces, attention to detail, sound design, and music were all spot on, but something about the humor in this game just didn't do it for me. It just felt a little cheesy at times, and I know they were just trying to give a lot of personality to each character, but it just fell flat to me. And then the last thing to talk about, and maybe the most important, is the gameplay loop. And for me, I think it's the biggest struggle on this title. Most fights are just going to be with a handful of robots at once, which is fine and all, but for some reason it just wasn't continuously fun and exciting to take them out. I like the weapons and upgrade system, but for some reason it just didn't feel very fun to use them. And then when you add the level design on top of all of this, it kind of started to put me off on the title. Now, I think the way the levels were laid out and looked were all really good, but the game would kind of hint that you need to adventure out and find loot, and then when you would, you'd end up at a dead end that you would actually have to come back to once you completed the mission. So after doing that and backtracking a few times, I completely stopped going off the main path. And I know the game tried to make some jokes and spoof you a little bit with having to go and pick up a power core and plug it in and then open this door and that door, which was kind of funny the first time or two. But honestly, after like the 17th time, it got so old and boring, it was actually making me mad. So this title was an odd one to give a rating. I actually did play it for a decent amount of time, but I haven't really wanted to load it back up to finish the story. I love the graphics, characters, and sound design, but really couldn't get into the story. I kind of halfway liked the action, but also found it really monotonous. I like the layout of the missions, but hated the objectives. So overall, this is one of those games you either love or you just can't get into. And for me, it's going to fall a little short and end up with a 6.7 out of 10. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you would rate this title, and I'll see y'all in the next one for Game 93.